Hello again, this is me again, second part of the video tutorial on EasyFPU in English language, or at least something like English, sorry for that. You remember we had breakfast together, so we had these toasts and chocolate cream giving us this total meal with those values. What I now want to do is to export those values into Apple Health, which I do using this little export button here on the top right, the little arrow. If you hit this, you will immediately see a preview on the lower part of the screen, where you can see in red the sugars, in green the regular carbs, in blue the extended carbs. This is the overall amount will be split into many small pieces. That's why the values are rather small here, so 0.28, something like that. You can scroll here and zoom. Of course, you can also let your meal start later. So if you want first the insulin to start to start being active before you actually eat, which is often a very good idea, you can modify the meal starting time using those plus and minus buttons here, and you will immediately see that you have now an idle time between now and start of the meal, when then the carbs hit your blood sugar, blood glucose. You can also deselect stuff. I wouldn't deselect sugars. If you have sugars, if you want sugars to be included in the regular carbs, please go via the settings menu. So please go back here and into the settings menu and deselect this one here. So that will make sugars be treated as part of the regular carbs, which you can see. So now you have no more sugars, but everything is in the regular carbs. Don't just deselect it here, because this just means it won't export the sugars. The sugars are still there, but they won't be exported. So what I'll do, I'll switch that back on to have the full functionality demonstrated here. Now sugars are back on in 20 minutes time, and as soon as you now hit the export to Apple Health, in the middle of the screen here, it will ask you for a Touch ID or Face ID. This is just for safety reasons, that you have a clear decision. Yes, I want to export, because this means that now the data go into Apple Health, and the Loop app will read from Apple Health, because Loop uses Apple Health as a data store. So therefore it has an impact on your blood glucose, on your insulin delivery of your pump system if you are a looper. So be careful, don't play around with that. That's why I made it a conscious decision by using Face or Touch ID, whatever your device has. So as soon as it has confirmation that it's me, it will tell you a successfully exported data to Health. And let's have a look. Now let's go back to the Health app. So if you open Health app, it looks like this. You will see carbohydrates, 39.3 gram. That's exactly what we just exported. You will see a similar but more condensed view of the data. And if you scroll down to data sources and access, you can see that all those data come from EasyFPU. If you want those data, if you want to modify or delete, you can do it here in Apple Health. You cannot do it in EasyFPU or in Loop. You have to use the Apple Health app to modify the data. And let's take a third look into Loop. So I'm not connected to Loop. I'm not a Loop user, but my daughter is. So, but here you find in all the way in the lower end the active carbohydrates in green, and as soon as you delete those from Apple Health, if you hit the edit button, delete all, yes, then you will also see that they will disappear here in the Loop app. So please be careful. As I said, don't export just for fun. Export only if you want your Loop app to react and deliver more insulin. There's also a second safety mechanism. if you hit this export to Apple Health within a certain time after the last export, it's preset to 15 minutes. You can modify that. It will warn you. So if I hit this a second time, it will warn you you have exported the following data less than 15 minutes ago: sugars, carbs, and e-carbs. You can hit export anyway, or you can cancel. This is just another safety mechanism. Okay, so far, so this is all I wanted to show you for the time being. The third video will deal with cooking and baking, so managing your recipes and doing producing composing a product which you then can use in your meal.